Hi everyone, and today we are with Hellen Esther. She is the author of From Struggle to Strength. From Struggle to Strength is an inspiring memoir that chronicles Hellen Esther's journey as a single mother, raising three children through faith, sacrifice, and perseverance. Facing financial hardship, loneliness, and life's many challenges, she discovered an inner strength rooted in her faith and commitment to her children. Through personal stories and practical lessons, the book offers hope, resilience, and encouragement to parents and anyone navigating difficult seasons, proving that struggles can be transformed into purpose, strength, and a lasting legacy. Join me as we welcome Hellen Esther. Nice meeting you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, can you just introduce the book to us?
All right. So this is From Struggle to Strength. Mainly talks about my journey as a single mom. I became a single mom when my three children were all less than 10 years old. And now, as we speak right now, my firstborn is 31 years old. So my second 29. I think my last should be, when you grow up, you even forget it. You even forget the ages.
Right?
My last is 23. So now you can see from under the age of 10 to where we are now. This is a journey worth sharing.
Yes.
A lot of obstacles, a lot of issues, difficulties. But yeah, so that is what transpired me to write down the story and just let somebody else know about it and also be encouraged.
Okay, so what were some of the greatest challenges you faced as a single mother?
I went through emotional challenges, financial challenges, and I would say, can I say loneliness? I would say loneliness because all these challenges, you walk through this path alone. And also I went through a lot of judgment from society as well. So those were the major challenges that I went through. As a single mom, others would look down on you, whether it is at church, whether it is at your workplace, also whether it is within the community. Okay. So people look at you differently. And I think there is one part in the book where I actually talked about how much, like judged I felt within church. When you are in church and then they tell you to say, this is a couple's meeting. This is only for those that are married. And then, you are a mom.
Yeah.
And then they see you walking out.
Wow.
You feel like, they distance themselves from you. So then you are like, am I here to be uplifted or to be reminded that I'm a single mom? Yeah, so those were some of the challenges.
That was tough.
I know.
And that was actually a lonely journey because basically, imagine you stepping out of the church alone and a lot of judgments.
Exactly.
So what role did faith play in your journey? How were you able to continue despite all the judgments and all?
Faith played a major role in this journey. Actually, it was my anchor. Even now, faith is still my anchor because I'm a staunch believer and I believe in God. And so I believe in prayer as well. And I taught my children how to pray at a tender age. They would come. This book is amazing because it also talks at a time when we couldn't have anything in the house, and then my youngest daughter would come and pray, and they won't believe in that. The next day we have something on the table. So faith actually plays a major role, and I would also encourage people out there to say you have to anchor on faith. For you to succeed in everything, faith has to be there. Don't let go of faith. Then you'll be lost.
Amazing. What are the most important lessons you learned from raising your three successful children?
Resilience. resilience, and also the same that we're talking about, you know, and also, I came to learn that children, their brains are magnetic, especially when they are younger. This time around, I mean, I go out, so they don't even mind, they are older now. But when they are young, their brains are so magnetic, they register everything around them. Okay. So one thing that I learned is not to be emotional in their presence. If you ask them how many times I've dropped tears, I don't think they even have an idea. In my book, I'm also talking about when I'll drop them off at school, and then I'll just put my head on the steering wheel and begin to cry. When I see them, they see me as a stronghold in their lives. So even when things are not going okay, I'll let them go to bed. I think the pillow is what knows the amount of tears that were dropped in this journey. So one important thing is never to let them see your brokenness, because they would break more. They would break more, definitely.
That's hard. Do you have any stories you shared in the book that that you like to share with us right now about bringing up your children, parenting, and all that? If there are some particular stories that are still very touching to you right now, you like to share?
Yeah, I think one good thing is there is a chapter for each one of them. Okay. Broken down, because they are all different, okay. And those 3 chapters, we also have a family picture here. Okay. So all those 3 chapters, they talk differently about their own personalities and how they have become to be who they are today. One notable thing is, the way I have described how they grew and how they became to believe in God as well, and also how they have become to do grown up also to do charity, to help others as well. So those are some of the notable stories, how we would sit around the table and laugh out all the time, and in the meantime, what is going through my heart is something else. All those the strength that I had to face them in the most hardest parts, the most hardest days, and what this book brings out. And mostly, I'm just trying to tell somebody else there to say, hey, the story has not ended. Every chapter of life has a story to be written down, and this is exactly what this book is about.
How were you able to transform your pain into purpose?
Prayer worked a great deal, and basically, when I looked at what I was going through, I realized to say, pain not about me. The situation right now is not about me. I looked at the future that we live. And also, I realized to say what I'm going through could be a lesson to somebody out there in the near future. And that is what even prompted me to write the book down. Because once you pin something down, it will be there for 99 years. Someone somewhere will come across it and they'll come to appreciate what somebody else went through. So that is what actually, made me to start thinking to say this pain can always be turned into a strength. There are certain times even in life that we turn weaknesses into strength. So the pain definitely turned into purpose, because I realized that that is what made my children to be who they are today. That is what made me to be who I am today. And that is what can make another person be who they are and who they will be tomorrow.
Saying this just made me realize that one thing, that there might be women going through this that you went through. What would you like to say to them? Yeah, at this point in their lives, because I'm sure it could be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years going through this thing. They want to keep up. It's just not easy. How would you encourage them during this season?
I like that, and you know what I want to even say, it's not even about only women.
Okay.
There is a man who read this book.
Oh wow.
and literally called me. Then I realized to say this book could be feminine, but also there are men who are single parenting and they need it. But what I would try to say, because us women, we are regarded as weaker vessels, which I don't really believe in. But I would love to tell that woman who is going through this that this is not the end of your story. Do not let the situation define you. Never let the world define your present situation. There is no situation that is permanent, and there is nothing that God can fail to do in our lives. So if there is a woman out there who is listening to me, I'll tell them to hold on, keep the faith, keep the hope high, never drop the ball when it comes to that, because God has not forgotten your name. God knows, He knows your situation. He's a father to the fatherless. He's a husband to the widows, to the single. So whatever the world judges you, don't look at it. Stay focused.
Good. Thank you very much for sharing with us. How do you hope your story will inspire and leave a legacy for future generations?
Well, it's just something that has to show people that single parenting is no crime. Single parenting requires your presence, and single parenting, I would say it's exciting. And why I say so is because there are people that stay in toxic marriages, relationships, for the sake of keeping the children. But trust me, you are spoiling them the more. As you are fighting, they are seeing you fighting, they are seeing you quarreling, you are not helping them. But once they come to reality that, oh, these people separated, they also try to fit themselves in there. So it is an amazing journey. Not anything easy. I wouldn't even say I'm out of there yet. But you can make it exciting if you know the purpose. Children are like plants. If you plant a flower today, come and see it after 1 week. It will have grown taller, right?
Yes.
But did you see it rise? No. That's how children grow. You are looking at them today. Today has passed. Do you know that the child has grown taller than they were yesterday, but you cannot see it?
Yes. It's when you check pictures, you're like, geez, you grew so much.
Why do you even keep pictures? Because you want to see, oh, this is
Memories,
exactly. Because you don't see them
grow. I'm sure you must have thought based on this, but do you have any parenting advice you would like to tell us for young couples that are just coming up, for them, maybe parenting teenagers? We've gone through that. So what is one thing we want to share with us for each stage of the child's life?
Children are a gift from God, and they never choose who to give birth to. And as a parent, you have to stay focused. Bring a child in a manner that they'll grow and be useful to the society. It all starts from us as parents. As you nurture those children, do your best as a parent. Provide for them as a parent, because you are the one who is creating that destiny for the children. So while the most important thing, the values, the morals, and as a parent, you are a model. You are the person that those children are seeing every day in the house. You are the one that is talking to them. If you keep screaming at children, they will also grow up screaming at you, back at you. If you keep loving them, they'll also grow up loving you. Teach them the morals. Teach them how to respect the elders. All those values. And the cultural values, whatever that has worked for you when you were growing up, transfer it to your children. Let them not pick anything outside. The reason why we find children going outside, either as parents we chase them, Because if you are a lion of a parent, yeah, the children won't be happy to come to the home. They would rather stick to their friends. And those are the groups that you find that they find themselves in drugs and all sorts of prostitution, all kinds of things. But if you put those values first and make your children to be your friends from childbirth, trust me, they will never part from that. And also teach them how to love God, whether you are a Christian, whether whichever religion you are, please do not hide that religion away from them. Teach them the values and the morals and let them grow, knowing too well that also, God loves them too.
Thank you. As you were talking, something crossed my mind. There might be someone listening and like, oh, maybe your kids were easy, your kids were calm, they didn't give you any issues. There might be some people struggling with some kids that have given them hard time.
I know, right?
How were you able to stay calm? I'm sure there were days when, how did you navigate those difficult situations or seasons in your life and in the child's life?
True. Are those genes or whatever?
It's real.
I know, right? I know, and I know that it's real. And really, as a parent, we really don't know which direction. When we give birth to a child, we don't know the direction. As they are growing and we are trying to put a lot of effort in that, that is the point when we start to see them, develop like that. For me, I would say, yes, God smiled at me. And I would say that because my children are as calm as I am. And probably it is where I'm coming from and the culture, and my mother was like this, everybody in the family as calm as we are, and so there was no way children are going to adapt anything outside. But when you find that children are aggressive, or you find that you are in a family that is extremely aggressive, there is 100 plus 1% that the child will also be aggressive, because the environment they are growing in also matters. If they are growing in a family or in a home that all they are talking about is abusive language, definitely the child will take up that as well as they grow. But as a parent, you have to see what is the best that you can do for the kids. I'm sorry. You have to really see what is the best that you can do. I'm not going to do. Yeah, what is the best that you can do for the kids, for them not to adapt to all those things, or the negativity that is within the home, and most of all, there is nothing that God cannot do. Always.
I like you always go back.
Always,
God.
exactly. Because He's the one who helped me. I never chased them up with their teenage life or what. Not that because I was clever, no. Once you dedicate the children to God, He does the rest.
I like that. Thank you very much. Do you have any lessons to share for women to teach them how to be resilient and how to stand strong despite all the pains and challenges in life, in parenting, in everything?
I'll just say believe in yourself.
Okay.
Whatever that you do, believe in yourself, and you can do it. You can do it. The thing is, we tend to forget our own selves, and we believe in other people more than we can believe in ourselves. Okay. That is why there are other women who didn't die in an abusive marriage. They're believing more in their spouse than they can believe in themselves. They think they cannot stand on their own until they are 6 feet down, leaving now the children to suffer. But once you believe in yourself, you look at your children, you know that you can make it. If you are in a relationship with your partner, it's not to advocate to say, hey, it's okay, you can divorce and all that because you, but there are circumstances that finds ourselves, and that is why we are here. It's because of the circumstances, and others become single parents because they are widowed. Others is through heartbreak. So whichever way you find yourself as a single parent, keep the faith and just believe in yourself.
Do you have any key message you want readers of this book to take from this book as they read it?
This is my life journey that I have put on paper for somebody to get something out of it, for somebody to also realize they're not alone. This fight is for everybody, especially for the single parents. If you are not even a single parent, you can also buy a copy to give to somebody that you love, and also to read. It's also good to know the experience. But the key message, and that is the last word that is in this book, is yes, now you have read my story. Your chapter, you came to the last chapter of this book. But guess what? This is the beginning of your next chapter now in your life.
That's amazing because even your story is still being written. You're not done. I mean, life continues, so it's amazing. So if following the launch of this book now, what are your plans for our readers? What are we expecting next from you?
Next for me, I would say I just expect, for my readers, I expect a turn in their lives, a turn in their thoughts. I expect the strength in whatever struggle that they're going through to be uplifted.
So for me, I learned a lot from this book. This book has been a blessing, and I learned about faith, the importance of faith in your journey through life. And I also learned the fact that we can share our stories. Everyone should actually share their stories, no matter the platform you can start from. Anyone that you're comfortable with, share your stories, and then heal before you share your stories. So that's very important to me. So over to you, Mom.
For what my readers should expect from me now, it's I will be publishing another book sometime next year, and they should expect more of stories, and I also expect to learn more from them. You can always go to HellenEsther.com, and then you can either purchase a book from there. If you're in a country that cannot print the books, you can always get an ebook. At the end of the day, I also expect to hear your story as well, because life continues, and also as you read this book, let it be your strength as well. Let it be everyone's strength, and also even as you are sharing your story, let it come from your own experience, so that somebody else can also learn from it.
Okay. What platforms can we get your books from?
So my book is on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and also Ingram Spark. And so all these are under one platform, which is my website, HellenEsther.com. So if you go there, even the new publications also will be posting them right there. You can also leave a comment when you go to my website. Actually, if you have an event you want me to speak, you can always also go there and send me a message. It will come direct to my email. So just go to HellenEsther.com and you will be able to see this. If you are able to access Amazon, it's giving 3 chapters free read.
Wow.
Except you cannot copy, you cannot print, but at least you read 3 chapters of the book. Can you imagine? For free. and it's gonna tell you a lot. So
Yeah.
that will push you, because obviously the story is juicy from where it ends. So you want to read to the end, right? So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your story with the world. And we can't wait to read your next book.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening.
All right.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.